So we're going to continue today talking about sila, about ethical conduct. Often, we abide by external rules, by external constraints that hold our speech and action in check. Family rules, societal rules, religious and conventional rules. We resist doing and saying things out of fear of being criticized, of being judged, of made fun of, accused, reprimanded, fined, or even jailed. Growing up Catholic, I resisted doing something wrong out of fear of going to hell. I mean, these restraints on our conduct are helpful in the general sense, but following them in and of themselves does not mean that our hearts are being educated in the spirit of goodwill and non-harm. It simply means we're good at following rules, or it can simply mean that. Sila, virtue or ethical conduct, is really a matter of educating the heart on the ways of non-harm and goodwill. And one fundamental way we learn is by watching others model it for us, model what it means to be kind and generous, caring, and careful in our speech and action. So for a moment, I'd like you to just kind of pause, and I'd like to ask this question and let you just kind of sit with it for a moment. But consider with me, who in your life, that you know personally or not, has helped educate your heart? Who has helped shape your ethical rudder? Who has led by example the ways of being skillful? Who are the people who inspire, encourage, and support you to up your game, to be at your best? These are your benefactors. And if you can't come up with any right now, you can begin to toss that line of questioning around in your mind. And as you move through the day, who are the people that begin to bring that forward in your view? For me, you can open your eyes now or reconnect here. For me, at this point, I have a list of people to thank. My mother, her mother, my maternal grandmother, and my maternal uncle Chuck, Ajahn Suchito, and a small group of Kalyanamitas, or spiritual friends. They help me remember what is easy to forget in this world: non-harm and goodwill. Bill spoke of his grandmother the other day, how he never heard her say an unkind word. And I too have had this modeled for me by my mother's mother. I recall one occasion when both of my grandmothers were present. It was in the 70s, and there was some gathering at our house, and my oldest brother, Kevin, walked into the room. Now, Kevin had wild hair at the time, wild hair. And as he walked in, my paternal grandmother, who was sitting over there, she said, "Hey, Kevin, get a haircut." And he smiled. He walked over to her. He hugged her, said hello. And then he went over to my other grandmother, who was sitting on the other side of the room, kissed her, and he sat down next to her. And she very gently placed her hand on his leg. And she just rested it there. And it was some clear, and I was watching the whole thing, some clear message of approval. It was like saying, "I love you just the way you are." Such a simple gesture, an act of kindness on the heels of harshness. No confrontation needed, but Kevin knew in that very moment that he was loved unconditionally with the touch of a hand. These are moments that we want to bring forward in our life, by the way, these little benefactor moments, as another teacher, John McCransky, likes to call them. But these moments are really rather important because they help us educate the heart and educate our ethical rudder. There's a lot of unkindness in the world right now, a lot of hate, a lot of division. More than ever, this is the time for us to up our game in the ways of non-harm and goodwill, to be ourselves beacons out in the world, beacons of kindness. But we can't do it alone. We need others. Recalling our benefactors can be a huge help. It can be a huge support for us on the cushion and also in daily life. They can be for us a beacon of solidarity in the ways of non-harm and goodwill. And their presence in the psyche of our mind can support us to stay the course. When no one else is around, we can bring them to mind. Benefactors can be elders, teachers, people who are alive, people who are dead. We can learn to imagine into their shoes, imagine into their voice, imagine what they might say to us when we're pondering a troubling situation. I bring these people forward in my mind, and that is one way in which I keep the relationship itself alive, by talking to them and listening in turn. Whenever I'm really unsure about what to do, besides talking to Bill, I often bring forward Uncle Chuck. I bring him to mind and I imagine what he'd say or what he might advise or how he himself would handle a situation. I knew him best, had him for the longest in my life, and we talked about a lot of things. But when I was embarrassed or ashamed to tell him something, it was like my little Sela barometer signaling to me that I wasn't happy with how I behaved. I was hiding. I didn't feel good about what I was or had been doing. And he almost always knew in those moments of hesitation, and he knew that I knew. And that was enough. That was enough to steer my conduct towards skillfulness. And good spiritual friends, Kalyanamita, well, they also can do the same. They can help us steer the course of kindness and goodwill. We help ourselves and we help each other to remember what is too important to forget, growing our hearts. Because our good intentions are no guarantee that we'll see what needs to be seen and act skillfully. I can't always trust my mind, Susan's mind, to monitor itself. Most of the time, she does a pretty good job, but she has blind spots. She gets careless and has agendas. Benefactors and good friends are not us. They're outside of us. They see us from a different angle while holding a sense of goodwill, holding our well-being in mind. And they can reflect back to us what we ourselves cannot see or do not wish to see, and help us to remember our values and uphold the view of non-harm. That is a gift. A gift to have another pair of eyes to see, ears to listen, another heart to help us feel and hold whatever is happening. They help us look from a more constructive vantage point. And they look out for our welfare and through the lens of goodwill and non-harm. Good friends, spiritual friends, encourage and inspire us to grow our hearts to be able to bear witness to the truth of life. Bottom line, in cultivating virtue, we need each other to speak the truth, to help us honor ourselves by upholding our values and good intentions. Benefactors and spiritual friends help us remember what's too important to forget, that we're all in this together and that we are responsible for our actions, and that it is up to us to take care of our hearts and each other. Thank you for your kindness. Oh my goodness. So I'd like us to be benefactors and good friends to ourselves, and with those eyes, with those ears and hearts, gently and very kindly move attention into the body, open it up, give it the attention that it needs, help it to feel more comfortable, more spacious and relaxed. I like to imagine moving as if I'm moving through water, so I don't hurt myself, but I feel the support of moving slowly and inviting things to unlock and release. And maybe if it feels comfortable, doing a little gentle massage on the jaw, just bringing the hands up and rubbing the jaw or tapping around the area, just to soften and loosen the musculature. Rubbing. When that feels complete, just find as comfortable a seat as possible. Give the body the support it needs. You'll notice I often put a cushion in front of me so I can rest my arms and let my shoulders relax down and back and let go of the work. Maybe taking a few deeper than usual inhalations, opening up the interior, and deeper than usual exhalations, softening and settling all the way down through the body into the ground. If you haven't already, you might consider gently closing the eyes and turning the attention squarely to the interior. Very deliberately coming out of the thinking mind and coming into the felt experience of being as comfortable as possible as you sit here. With each inhalation, we're opening the whole of the interior. And with each exhalation, we're softening and settling all the way down through the torso into the base onto the ground. Now, very deliberately, I'd like you to drop in the awareness of the context, all of us sitting here together, you with us and us with you. Feel into the field of goodwill. And let that be a support for you so that you can keep turning away from the busyness of the mind and keep unraveling, unbinding, unwinding the tension right here. Hey, friend, where's the mind? Bring it on back inside. Smooth everything out and begin again. You're in good company. On the next inhalation, bringing attention one more time squarely into the interior. And feel how it feels sitting here right now. And see if you can help yourself to feel just a little bit more comfortable. 1%. And now open the aperture of attention and sense all of us sitting here with you again, and you sitting here with us. All of us alone together, making room for whatever is here. We're in good company. Thank you all for your practice. Stop the recording.